Hi, guys. Welcome to episode 14 of Colorway Wednesday. I'm so excited to be back today. For anyone who may have noticed, I did not stream last week and I did not post about it. I was knee deep in my thesis, so I decided to take a little self care day. Um, Outside of a typical self care, I have this like sprig of hair that will not go down. Okay, girl. Um, but I decided to take a little break, opposed to the previous break I've done, where I know I've done it before, where I still posted a coloring sheet. I did not have the strength of mind. But with that being said, I'm super excited to be back this week. We have a super cute little coloring page for us today. This coloring page is, of course, in honor of Earth Day, as we lucked out and Earth Day fell on a Wednesday. So I'm very excited about this one. This one is by Little Bee Family. It's super cute. It actually had a lot of really good options. So if you want other Earth Day coloring pages, check them out. Hopefully I'll get to link them in the bio if I think about it. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and prime my canvas. So essentially what that means, I know I've discussed it before on the show, but still, I'm going to take my watercolor paper because I'm using recycled watercolor paper. Ooh. But I'm going to take my watercolor paper. I'm going to very lightly. There we go, lightly. I'm going to very lightly spray it. So it's not like wet, but it's damp, right? It's got a little curvature going on now. You see that? Yeah. Typically, these papers are really straight until you get them damp. Priming a canvas always just means that your paint is going to work a little bit better. So naturally, we wanted to utilize that a little bit today. But with that being said, yippee! All right, I've got my trusty dusty watercolors that I got off TikTok Shop many moons ago. But with that being said, let's catch up. Let's talk about life. So, like I mentioned, I was very busy with my thesis last week, but I am excited to report that I have successfully defended said thesis and will be graduating with an honors degree, which is very exciting. I'm the first of my degree type to ever do that at my university. I'm sure people at other universities have done that, just at my university specifically. I'm going to prime my canvas more because I want it to be extra watery. Okay, that was too much. But with that being said, it was really fun. It was a lot of work. It was a lot of adjusting things, really close to time. Me and some friends were running around right before the show started because it was technically a performance. Right before the show started, trying to figure out some last minute tech things. In true Oklahoma fashion, we were under tornado watch, which was so fun. I wasn't worried about it at all. Actually, I did forget while I was presenting, so I'm glad nothing happened because I had come up with a whole plan for what we would do if that situation were to arise. But luckily, I didn't need it. But yeah, so successfully defended my honors thesis. I have a couple of days left of college, and then I have officially graduated with my undergraduate, which is a bachelor's in fine arts and acting. Very exciting. It's really crazy to think that I've kind of just been doing, I started doing Colorway at the very beginning of this semester. So it's a really weird time capsule specifically, or currently. Colorway is a really weird little time capsule that gives you a different glimpse into exactly what my last semester of undergrad was like. Like, obviously, I haven't shared every single nitty-gritty detail on here, but it's just interesting whenever I, like, put it in that perspective of, like, oh, yeah, like, if someone were to, for some reason, go back and watch every single episode, they would hear, like, progression about my thesis and, like, the way the semester's been going, the way, and, like, they'll know the way the semester's gonna end, like, things like that. It's kind of crazy to think about, but exciting nonetheless. I hope y'all have been doing well. I know that life is kind of crazy for, like, everyone right now. There's just so much going on around this time of year. There's so many, like, companies doing events. I know that I keep seeing things. I'm like, oh, I should make a pageant appearance at that. And then it's like, oh, well, actually, I have 5 other things that day, so I can't do that. But I can sure think about it. A gal can dream. But with today's coloring sheet, I'm going to be doing it a little more traditionally since it is in honor of Earth Day. And it's a cute little earth. I'm very excited. Again, the fun thing about this coloring sheet, I found was actually the website is run by a pair of sisters, I believe. And they design all the coloring pages. Like, it's primarily coloring pages. They're really good, like, more simple ones for really young kids, or really tired college students who just want to do a little something, something, but they're also exhausted. So I was like, oh, this is perfect. This is such a good one for tonight. Because also it's so thematically relevant, because yay, Earth Day. But I had a Queen's call last night with my director and some of my sister queens. They had 2 different Queen's calls, just to accommodate for people's schedules, naturally. But that was super fun. We went over the National Handbook, which the National Handbook dropped last Wednesday, which is part of why I did not do Colorway. I was like, there's so much happening, and my thesis is happening, and nationals is happening, but it's not. But also we have so much information, and I want to lock in, but I can't because I should focus on school like a good student. But hey, it paid off. And now we can goof off a little bit. Not fully, but still. You win some, you lose some. That's one of my favorite things to say right now for some reason. But yeah. We were on that Queen's call, which was super fun. It was really nice getting to see some of my sister queens. I got to see Jody, who's Miss Ozark. I got to see Lila, who's one of our teens. She's awesome. Live, laugh, love her. But yeah. And then also some of the girls' mamas were on there, but I'm not going to name drop their moms out of respect for them. But yeah, it was really nice. Like, our director, Chrissy, she rocks. She genuinely takes the time to, like, she went step by step through that whole handbook, even though I think there were 6 of the girls on the call, and only one of them was new to the system. But she still took the time and care to go through every single page, and, like, explain, hey, here's what this means. Here's what I think of it outside of the handbook. So, like, one of the insights she was giving was like, oh, pink carpet couture and casual wear are typically the most popular optionals. Those are, like, some of the most highly competed in ones, which I think was, like, a really lovely insight for her to provide. Because, like, I mean, you can probably assume that those would be popular, but, like, you never know, because some systems, like, I'm sure, like, a lot of people are from different systems. Like, this isn't, like, their first time in pageantry. And so these girls are like, oh, we have so many different things, and I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm so sorry. I'm, like, actively trying to balance, because I'm apparently a little rusty with my watercolors. This is crazy. But hey, that adds to the fun. because we're just vibing, we're just living life. Gonna add some more water. It's crazy how much water watercolors need, am I right? Ridiculous. But Nationals is going to be very, very fun. I'm quite excited. It will be a very good time. Goodness. Okay, don't worry, guys. I remembered how to do watercolors. This is working a lot better. I was like, man, it's really blotchy. We fixed it. Don't get me wrong. I like when there's like different tones and it's not just like all one specific shade and it's not all like uniform. Because ultimately, while uniform things are very nice, I will be one of the first people to tell you that. When making art, it's just so much more beneficial to explore like what it's like to make something a little messy or like two-toned, uneven, things like that. Because ultimately, art is about exploring either the medium or just yourself. Like that's why performance art is such a big thing. A lot of people pursue art by like with a lens of wanting to have a deeper understanding of who they are, which I know sounds like really pretentious. But I assure you, it does make sense once you get used to the thought. Yeah, I'm going to have to flatten this one out after. That's okay. That means it's a good one. Either that or it just means I'm not a great watercolor painter. And that's okay too. It's been really nice. I haven't really drawn anything in a hot minute. Like I haven't even been doodling in my notes. That's how stressed I've been. I'm not like a chronic notes doodler like some people, but I typically doodle because it's just fun. Also just adds character to your notes. But yeah, I've seen your pictures on Friday. I was about to say tomorrow. No, it's Wednesday. That's why we're on the show right now. Well, that's not why, but that's why that show is today. Because it's Wednesday. Whoa. You know, I really should explain the concept of days of the week more often on this show, as if people don't understand it. That'd be really funny. Like, act like I just discovered something brand new and be like, guys, you'll never believe what I found out. You're never going to guess, dude. I always forget I don't like any of the greens I have in this palette. I also low-key don't really love this blue. Maybe I'll mix in a little bit of Prussian blue. Maybe. I'm gonna. Okay. Ooh, yeah. This is gonna be a fun one, guys. I was actually going to do my markers for this coloring page, but then I thought about it for a little bit and like I printed it and then I looked at it and I went, no, like look at these like wide open spaces. This is so perfect for watercolor. Like I gotta do some watercolor in this. And also I just kind of wanted to watercolor. So, and that's why we're here now. This kind of looks like those 90s cups now. I'll give you guys an update whenever I get a little further in blending. Oh, this is cute. Not to like toot my own horn or anything, but a lot of my finals this year are like performance-based, collaborative-based, like different things like that. So it's very odd because I'm like not really having to stress about studying for any finals. Because literally all of them are some sort of performance, a group one at that. And so it's like, well, I just got to make sure I know my stuff and am prepared in case someone else forgets their stuff, but no one else will because I trust my classmates. But it will be fun. I have a different final every single day of finals week, which is kind of nice to not have them like, oh, I have multiple finals in one day, but at the same time, it's like, okay, I have 5 finals. I have one each day of the week. Like, ah. And what's worse to me, at least, I am a big fan of get everything done in the morning and go home. The last 3 days of finals are all at 2 p.m. So it's like, what do you mean I have to sit around? I don't have to. But I'm like gonna be like sitting around working on stuff until 2 p.m., which is when the actual finals are. But then I'm gonna be like, well, I can't get started in anything because like what if I miss my final because I got so wrapped up and like I can't do that because like I really need to like I don't know go to my finals. Go to your finals, kids. I officially endorse finals. No one can say this is not an educational show. But I have a performance tomorrow in one of my classes. One of our shows opens tomorrow, and I'm ushering for that, so that's going to be really fun. It's like a creature feature, as our department head calls it, aka it's a bunch of kids getting like an early showing. Because like technically opening night for the public is Friday night, but like local schools are coming tomorrow morning-ish to see it as like a field trip, which is really sweet. I did a couple of field trips to go see like artsy things when I was in high school, and I always loved it. Surprising, I know. Let's see. Let me show y'all what greens I'm working with here. Like, none of them look that bad until you go, okay, what's a good earth green? Like, some of them are earth greens, but like, let me show you how my ocean looks. Oh man, I forgot a snippet. That's okay. I'll get to that in a second. Like, there's it. There's it so far. It looks cuter in person, but that's okay. Let me finish the bit of ocean I forgot. See, now it's watery. There we go. That's the ticket. Fun fact, watercolors were intended to be watery. Just thought I'd share in case you didn't know. Me and some of my friends went to the city this past weekend. Actually, let me give you a play-by-play of my last weekend. So Friday night, I had my thesis defense / presentation / performance, which went very well. And then Saturday, I got to chill a bit. I got Tomodachi Life 2, shout out. And then that evening, I went to the city with some friends, and we'll get into that a little bit more shortly. And then Sunday, I had a performance. I wasn't performing because I did not have time to rehearse properly with my classmates. But we did a like student showcase and senior send-off, which was really sweet. They ask at these senior send-offs, they always ask an underclassman to share some like sentiments or thoughts about the seniors. And so one of my very good friends who's a sophomore gave that presentation, and I cried like a baby. That's okay. I think I'm going to mix putting green and phthalo green. Yeah, we're going to try that. And it's okay if we don't like it, because at the end of the day, we had fun. It's really weird. So college, as opposed to most high schools, from my understanding, has this thing where the week before finals week, yes, you have classes, but they're not traditional classes. So they're not allowed to give you any big assignments due that week. You're not allowed to have like required meetings, mandatory this, mandatory that. You're not allowed to volunteer that week, which I always thought was kind of goofy because it's like, okay, well, sometimes my form of self-care is volunteering. Especially, I used to volunteer with a pet therapy program, so I was like, come on. It prompts me to hang out with dogs. What do you mean? But yeah, pet therapy. What else is there, man? But yeah, so that means that today was actually my last day of normal Monday, Wednesday classes, which is kind of crazy to think about because, like, I don't know, it just doesn't occur to you whenever you're like, oh yeah, going to my 8:30 in the morning movement class. I wonder what we're going to do today. It isn't, you don't like sit there and go, this is my last time going to my Monday, Wednesday class, like normally, which you'll be thrilled to know the final for that class is at 8 a.m. I'm so excited. I genuinely, my entire college career until this year, I had managed to never have an 8:30 class. Like, I think the earliest I had was a 9:30. And then on top of that, I had, let's see, 8:30 class. I don't know why I said on top of that. Scratch that. But I had like not had classes that early. And then last semester I took acting 4 at 8:30 in the morning. And then now this semester that is not good. Some of my blue just bled into the green. So I'm going to grab a paper towel. Which, luckily, I bought more of these yesterday. No. Obviously, it's not detrimental by any means, and also blue and green look quite nice together. But since I haven't gone for that look for the entire thing, it would feel a little weird. Okay. Okay, it's just water now. There we go. I like put my brush down thinking that there was some paint loaded in it still, and apparently it was only water. Which is fine, I love water. But let's see. I hope everyone's been having a good day. I know I've been yapping about everything under the sun. I talk a lot, and yet sometimes I feel like it's not enough. And then other days, I just do not want to speak in the slightest. Which is always weird. And then people will be like, oh my gosh, are you doing okay? You're just so quiet. And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, oh, I know you're not doing okay because you're never this quiet. And it's like, no, I am. I just don't have anything to say. And then there's also genuinely some days where it's like, I do technically have something to say, but I just don't have the energy to. And I just don't really care enough to like try to will that energy to existence, you know? Tomorrow in my musical theater scene study class, I have a duet performance with one of my classmates. We're doing a Legally Blonde song, which I know I mentioned on here before, so I'm not going to go into that in too much depth. But then we also have like a group number where it's the entire class. And it's an interesting song, all right. It's from a Star Kid musical, for anyone who knows what those are. I'm kind of nervous. I don't know if this is actually going to look as decent as I thought. Ooh, actually, Ooh, wait a second. I like that. I'm mixing my greens right now. Yeah, okay, I stand by this decision. This is cute. But it's really funny because the song is like a bunch of high schoolers who are super begrudging about waking up in the morning and like going to school. And so they're like being super dramatic about it. But we like started blocking the other day and we're gonna work on blocking more tomorrow. Which blocking is like the choreography, like where you move when, like kind of building a sense of character, as we call it sometimes, stuff like that. And so, one of the interesting parts of that is one, well, we're going to be blocking and whatnot. However, in tandem to that, we're like specifically like interacting with our college classmates as if it's really funny. Someone just texted in our class group chat, but we're specifically supposed to be interacting with our classmates and the world around us as if we're in high school still. Like one of the girls in my class is playing the teacher. She's so funny. I love her. But she's playing the teacher, and then like the rest of us are just absolute menaces because high school is so hard. Which, granted, yes, high school was hard back when I was in high school. But now looking back on it, I kind of miss high school. But that's just kind of the way life is. We're always going to miss things. We're always going to think that other times were better than current times, when in all actuality, that's not true. Because as you grow up, your problems grow up with you. So you get more and more adult problems, such as taxes. I don't have taxes, but I am a very fortunate soul and will not have to file taxes until next year, probably. There we go. Yeah. Guys, this is going to be so cute. I'm really good at my commentary on here. I feel like more often than not, my commentary is just me going, this is going to be so cute, guys. Guys, this is going to be so good. Like, yes. Yes, Diva, give us nothing. I did lie earlier, I think, because I said something about I haven't done much creative stuff recently, but I actually picked up my crochet hook again for the first time in a hot minute, which was nice. Quite fun. I'm very excited for what I'm making. Y'all shall see stuff about it after nationals, probably. Like, I could post about it before nationals. I don't feel like it. It's just like one of those things. I'm like, people don't need to know every little detail of my life. Hence why I try to be kind of vague about where I live. Stuff like that. Cybersecurity. Our POA miss from this past year, Alyssa Colby, her platform was all about cybersecurity, and it was cool as awesomeness. Very, very neat. But also, she's just cool, so fair enough. Okay. This looks a lot darker than the other side did. Which, granted, is partially probably because the other side is dry now, or at least drier. But I'm going to go ahead and go in anyway. Goodness, sorry, I got, like, so wrapped up in what I was doing. Oh my goodness, I'm, like, painting in the wrong areas now. Everything's just going haywire, guys. Guys, this is so scary. Okay. I think my little world is almost done, which means we are already at the halfway point. I just realized I didn't plug in my laptop. Ooh. Well, hopefully we have enough charge to make it through the stream. Because I don't feel like getting up and getting my charger. Because also I just think it's like awkward to fully leave. But I'll do it if need be. Rather than just having the stream end because I forgot to plug in my laptop, even though I definitely got up more than one time when waiting for the stream to start, being like, oh, I'm going to grab my charger. And then I didn't. So, no one to blame but myself, and that's okay. I've been really enjoying the art of slouching lately. Not actually that much, but been dabbling in it. All right. It's really funny looking at my watercolor kit and seeing how many colors like actually have like an obvious like dent made in them from people from myself using them so much, or have like nothing missing because I don't use that color. Because I'm using a cute little yellow that I never use. I just tend to find yellow a really harsh color for me personally. So I just typically don't use it in a lot of my works. A lot of my works are very pastel and soft. So we're working with something like this, which I think is quite fun. It's very vibrant. This painting is very vibrant, which watercolors are very vibrant, which is part of why I love them, because you can so genuinely like go from being pretty soft and like light to just being like some of the most beautiful, vibrant colors you've ever seen in your life. And part of that's because I don't do a ton of acrylic painting. I want to do another acrylic painting class. I did one last year around this time of year, and it was awesome. I loved it. I think it was on Wednesdays, actually. Shout out my painting class. But if you look far enough on my Instagram, you'll find a post from it. But again, you're going to have to look fairly far on my Instagram because I do post a decent chunk. At least I like to think I post a decent amount. Try not to spam people. But, all right. Okay. Oh, guys, this is so cutie. If anyone's following it along at home, please, please, please do not hesitate to tag me in your final product. I would love to see it. I'm going to do my leaves in the, oh my gosh, there's so much yellow in my brush still. There we go. Okay. I used Prussian blue. Yeah, that's fresh enough. I think that's what I used. No, why would I use blue? Hi. We're thinking about green. Phthalo green is what I was thinking of. But whenever I hear the word Phthalo, I think it's technically Phthalo blue. But in Bob Ross tutorials, if you ever watched those, you have probably heard him say that word because he uses a paint called, I think it's Phthalo blue. It's like he always has Phthalo blue and titanium white with him. I remember that. I've watched a decent chunk of Bob Ross in my day. Actually, at the Ozark pageant, I remember watching pretty much just I Love Lucy and Bob Ross. It was awesome. Gonna mix in a little bit of this. Ooh, I don't like that. Okay, actually, I'm sold on it. Never mind. Change my mind. Don't worry, guys. Because it's just a little too watery. Okay. I'm gonna boop, 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 boop. Such a fine line between finding like the right amount of watery in your paints to the right amount of like dry, because if you have it too wet, it's just water that you're putting down pretty much. Like tinted water is what you're working with. And that's not really my goal in life, to work with tinted water. So as one of my professors would say, my goal in life is to work with a sense of ease. All right. Gonna add a little bit more of this. Bum, 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 bum. Okay, and then right there. Perfect. I actually lied. I'm not done with the green. I know I didn't say I was done with the green, but I told myself I was done with the green, and then I looked at a little area and I went, no. Okay. Then last, but certainly not least, there's the two little hands holding the hard earth. And that's all I have left. I can never decide which of these I think is going to be a decent-ish skin color. I'm gonna try to go for a tan, and we'll see how that works. It's a little children's not coloring book, like children's book shade right now, but hopefully when I'm done with it, it'll be a little more like someone's actual skin tone. One of the things I want to do once I graduate college is maybe upgrade the watercolor. Get up maybe some new watercolors to go in tandem with what I already have. Let's see. That actually looks kind of perfect. It's very cartoony. Like I don't think it's like really the most canonically accurate shade, but I think it's a really good shade for just cartoon-esque while also bringing a little more diversity. Because I am very aware that as an artist, I tend to primarily work with skin tones like mine because those are the ones I know how to accentuate, color, etc. But also, it's really important for kids to get to like see themselves in work. And so, I mean, this coloring page isn't like going in the loop or anything, but I think it's still important to add some variety. Let's see. once I'm done with this hand, we're probably going to wrap up for the night, which is nice. Solid little hour. This has been really nice, honestly. I say this every week, I think, but I personally needed this. It's just nice to sit down and do something a little creative, which I know that's like literally the entire point of my platform. So it's like, I'm not having a brand new revelation. I'm aware. However, it is really nice because it's really easy when you have like longer days or like chaotic days. It's really easy to forget things that you do know, like inherently. Like I know inherently in my heart of hearts that like art is something I love, and it's a great way for me to express myself and relieve stress. However, I always be forgetting that. And not because it's like, oh, I just genuinely forgot. No, it's like simply because we get so caught up in everyday life, and we kind of forget to live life. Get very swept up in the what if, how so, when, where, why of things that we kind of forget to just live in the now. So this shows a little bit of my way to live in the now. This hand ended up more pigmented than the other one. Weird. Gonna play around with that a little bit because I would like them to be even. For this piece at least. Because I feel like if I were like portraying vitiligo, I think that's how you say it. I need to look that up again. I feel like there would be a better coloring page to highlight that. You know, it's been a while since I've watched any movies. Like, because I went through a phase last semester where I was watching movies alone all the time, and it was actually really fun. But at the same time, I was like, I have so many opinions and no one to tell them to. That's crazy, dude. I don't know. Maybe I'll watch a movie tonight. Probably not. Because when I get done with this is going to be almost 8 p.m. and I haven't had dinner yet. And I need to do my hair and finish some laundry before I get to go to bed. Which, surprise, surprise, that's why my laundry detergent jug has made a cameo again. Fun stuff. But our coloring page today is done. I'm very happy with how this turned out. She's still a little damp in some areas. And interesting. Don't mind me, I'm fixing some things. Okay. Actually, don't do that. Blend it out more. There we go. Watercolor is always so interesting because you never know when you're going to need to like I'm sure there is a way to know. And like if I have genuinely sat down and just like watercolored every day for like a year, I wouldn't know. But here is today's. Very happy with it. It was very fun. The water didn't turn out the same kind of streaky that I was hoping it would, but it's still cute and I still quite like it. And I hope you remember at the end of the day, that's what matters about your art, not someone else's opinions. But I hope you all have an amazing day, or rest of your day, you know what I mean? An amazing night, get some good rest, eat some good food, and I'll see you next week. Bye.